I was sleeping through the rainstorm, feeling a little bit shot up yet. My eyeball and my left arm had been hit. I was healing pretty well. Had a nice little buzz from the beer. When I finally got up, decided to do a little work on my power cables. See if I could get some stuff going here. I found a gun nearby, looked like it still worked. So I grabbed that and installed it, see if I could power it up. I was having a meal, thinking about having some proper defenses in place. I decided to dig a few more graves nearby. Most likely I was going to need them the way things are going here. And then I started deconstructing some walls nearby to get some steel from it. Keep working on my power cables. Started deconstructing a bunch of it just to get a little stockpile going. Be nice to have some steel on hand. There was a wooden bed in there too. I'd seen a board game sitting around when I was doing exploring, so I ran over to grab that. It'll give me something else to do to pass the time. When I got that installed, I sat down and had a beer, and then I started ripping down some roofs in that nearby building before I got all the walls out and get myself crushed. Some big crazy animal was milling around. Started pulling that steel over, setting up a nice wind turbine, some power cables. Decided to have another beer. No sense to not enjoy them while I had them. I was liking this cowboy hat. It seemed to go well with my facial hair. Feeling like a pretty tough guy, despite my history, mostly laziness. But I was getting by just fine. Had myself a meal, took apart some more walls. Was gonna have to build myself a heater. It was getting pretty cold at night, and that was making me a little crabby. And after carrying some steel back, decided to lay down. Felt like bedtime. About 11 o'clock at night. When I woke up, some more steel was in order. I also built a little fire. I was going to need to cook up some food here. That cat that had tried to attack me was still laying nearby. So I butchered it up. Started making some meals out of the meat that it provided. I was going to cook through this thing, at least have something on hand. And it didn't take too long. When I got done, sat down and ate some of it. It was decent, certainly had better, but it could be worse. Did some cleaning in my little room, and got to the business of ripping the rest of those walls down. I heard a transport pod crash nearby, as I was thinking about ripping up a bunch of floors. Seemed like there's more steel there, and that would be useful. Some girl named Pumpkin had come down. She wasn't in too bad a shape, really. Didn't seem to have much clothing on. I thought perhaps she could be from her home planet. Decided that I'd probably try and help her out here. See if I could get a friend going. At least somebody to talk to for a little while. So I gave up my steel stuff for a minute. Decided to run over and rescue her. I grabbed her and picked her up. And she was friendly right away. Said she'd like to hang out, live here for a while. About that time, a bunch of crazy space chunks fell out of the sky. That pumpkin girl decided I should name this place. Name myself. So I just named it after my last name. I named this little location as well, though I didn't plan on spending too much time here. When she got up, she decided she was going to wear one of the shirts I'd taken off. Maybe one I'd found, but that was okay with me. If she wanted some clothes, she could have it. I'd found a bionic arm laying around, and she had some skill, and I decided to see if she could get me hooked up with that. Hopefully she'd wait till after she was healed to do it, because she couldn't walk as yet, and she went back down. Decided to clean up around her. The place was pretty disgusting. I didn't want her getting sick. So I cleaned. She was going to need some attention. And I got to that. I'd found enough medicine around. I got her taken care of. I don't think she was going to die, but it'll make her more comfortable. Probably make her heal faster. I even fed her one of the meals I'd taken off that cat. And I was continuing to work on my wind turbine. before having myself a meal. She was wandering about. I decided to lay down. That little spot I'd made for her, it was cozy in there. But I didn't stay long. Went back to my own bed after that. Turns out a bed's better than the floor. She got herself suited up with all the random clothing I'd found. She decided she was going to put my bionic arm in right away. Fortunately, the light popped on about that time. She's pretty bad shape. Wasn't sure how that was going to go. Certainly wasn't ideal. But she succeeded, and for that I was happy. Although I was still pretty out of it from the anesthesia she'd given me. She had herself a meal. I decided to ask her to leave at that point, which wasn't ideal. She felt a little used. She was a little crabby, a little unsure, just sitting there blinking her eyes, not knowing what to do. I got back to the business, ripping these ship chunks apart when I got up. I was going to get some great resources out of these things, so I took them all apart, brought all the supplies back, decided to sit down, play that board game I'd found. It wasn't terribly fun alone, but it was better than nothing. Nice way to pass some time. After that, I built my wind turbine and my heater. I was a little off on the heater. I was going to have to try again. First one didn't work too well. But eventually, I got it done. Got my room reorganized. Seemed like a good play. And I had power, and I had heat now. Decided to sit down and have myself a meal. There was some more exploring to do. Some stuff I'd never figured out what was inside. So I ran on over, started ripping down walls. There was a couple little secret rooms back there. Nothing of any real interest though. There are still all kinds of random things laying around. Beds. Dead dogs. So I kept on exploring. The way some people have built these places, beyond me. Walls right in front of doors. Maybe it was added to after the fact, I don't know. Somebody blockaded themselves in perhaps. So I searched. Didn't find a lot. There was a gun. Some kind of explosive gun laying next to one of them people I'd had to kill. I grabbed that. Felt like a good play. Some animals got in a fight nearby. Some kind of big, crazy hellhound looking thing. Some kind of big, mean looking cat. So I laid myself down after that and went to bed. I was a little crabby for sending that girl on his way. While sleeping, my new power cables went kaput. Blew up on me. Cat decided to join me about that time. He didn't quite make it before he got pounced on by a whole bunch of crazy big mean dogs. There wasn't much I could do for the fella. He was nowhere nearby. Most of the wildlife here had disappeared. There was just these big mean dogs laying everywhere, running around, trying to attack everybody. But I butchered up that other cat that hellhound had killed that was nearby. A mad cat showed up at that point, thinking it was going to get the better of me. I sat down, had a beer, did some repairs, and decided I'd better not ignore that thing. It was looking pretty mean. Fortunately, I had a good gun. Despite the short range, did a fair amount of damage. That cat was coming at me as fast as it could. I was shooting it up, and eventually down it went. I had to get back to the business of making food before too long here. And that's what I focused on next. Just kicking out meals. I really needed to get some power, run over to my gun, just in case something went bad. So I got that done. Kept peeling up floors, bringing in steel, drinking beers. I was feeling a little fuzzy. All I'd done is drinking a bunch of beer, so I decided to lay down. It was only 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but that's alright. I liked this bionic arm. It was extremely versatile, made me feel strong. Hopefully Kira still recognized me with this crazy thing on. I built myself an AC in case it got too hot around here. finished ripping up the rest of those floors and decided to have a beer and chill out next to my campfire. It was pretty nice in all honesty. Beer is delicious despite having laid around for who knows how long. Some cargo pods crashed down nearby. Some kind of meat. I was intrigued by it. But I had cats, these crazy dead dogs laying around, so I think I'd be alright without them. Plus I had no way to keep it frozen, keep it from spoiling. I butchered up that other cat that had tried to kill me, decided to make some meals out of its meat. I also decided to do some cleaning. Everything was a right mess to keep this place somewhat tidy. I made a ton of meals. I had one, ended up getting myself sick, which is rather unfortunate. Refueled my fire and decided to go to bed. I wasn't looking forward to going through some food poisoning. A bunch of crazy wolves ran through. At some point, I heard them howling, heard their claws clicking on the pavement. When I woke up, I found a video game nearby. It seemed like it'd be fun to bring in. Give me something else to do to play that. I was carrying it, barfing my guts out. One of those stupid dogs decided to come attack me. Followed by another. There was a whole pack of these angry things around. My gun didn't seem too interested in shooting them. Set up the video game. Had myself another meal and got sick again. Decided maybe I could get a beer down. And I had some success at that. Those hellhounds were hunting me pretty good. So I grabbed my gun. I wasn't having the best of luck shooting him. But he wasn't moving too fast, due to me having shot him a few times. Man, these things were everywhere. Just going nuts on me. So I shot him up till he went down. Decided to run on over there and put him out of his misery. I don't like the idea of cooking any more food out here. That's gotta be why I'm getting sick, I'd say. I'd shot up my house a bit. Gonna need to do some cleaning around there. And then I decided to lay down and do some cloud watching. Certainly wasn't feeling the best, as evidenced by the fact that I was barfing while doing it. When I got up, on inside for another meal, see if I couldn't not get sick from one, that'd be nice. There was barf all over the place in my house, my little storage area. Did some cleaning. About that time, a bunch of dogs decided to join me. 3 sweet huskies. I was a fan of them. Decided to give them a little place to sleep outside. I didn't want them in my place making a mess. Was trying to refuel my fire, but all I could do was barf. Leaving barf and wood everywhere. Maybe I should let the dogs in. They'd actually eat up this barf. I wouldn't have to clean it probably. But that seemed a little gross. I had another meal and I got sick again. This was not going well for me. I was running through the city, barfing all over the place. Just having a walk. When I finally got back home, I'd found some paintings. I decided to install one of them paintings in my bedroom. See if I could beautify the place. At least a little bit. And that'd be nice. The dogs are running all around. I found another building to explore. There was all kinds of goodies in there. Paintings, telescopes, even some gold. I found some crazy clothes. Must belong to one of them crazy aliens I'd killed before. I wasn't gonna mess with those. I did find some medicine though, and that'd be useful. Some kind of shells laying around. This must have been a war zone at some point. I grabbed the paintings, and I grabbed the gold. Even found some wood nearby. Even some kind of crazy real hardwood. So I grabbed it all, took it back home. And I was off to bed about 10 o'clock that night. I was still feeling pretty sick. My stomach hurt. Having a hard time holding anything down. Decided to have another meal at that point. And fortunately I didn't get sick. One of them hellhounds started hunting one of my dogs, so I decided to see if I couldn't take care of him. I shot him a few times. He started coming after me, and it didn't take much to drop the thing. Mean as they look and as big as they are, this gun's pretty awesome. The dog started eating that hellhound right away. I decided to leave it for him. I was sick enough. It was pretty disgusting, but it is what it is. I was still barfing my guts out everywhere I went. Trying to keep this place clean is a real nightmare, especially when you're sick as a dog all the time. I sat down, messed with that board game some more. It was pretty fun. A slight distraction from how sick I felt. After that, I had another meal. Unfortunately, I didn't get sick from that one. And then I did some tidying up. Not sure how long I'm going to be able to stay in this city. It seems like a rough place with the animals. It's bound to attract some attention, get some bad people coming through here, trying to find some kind of loot in this old place, which there certainly was a lot of. Next, I decided to go exploring some rooms. I found a sleeping casket. All kinds of other good stuff. Some kind of crazy horns, silver. Decided I was going to take all the silver, even though I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. Also some components for doing building. I put those on the back burner while doing some more exploring. There's another big building nearby. Perhaps I'd claim one of these big metal stone buildings. Probably feel a little bit safer than I feel in my little wooden hut. So for the minute, I grabbed what I could, ran on back. Not even sure if I can carry all this stuff if I decide to leave. Probably for the best that I don't. If people realize I took it all, they might try and come find me. I laid down in bed, holding on a whole ton of stuff, which fell out of my pockets in the night as I was rolling around. I was running out of food pretty good. Decided to butcher up that hellhound the dogs had been eating off. It wasn't ideal, but it was all I had. I may end up having to butcher up these dogs at some point. Didn't make much meat since the dog had eaten so much I could only get a bit off of it. But it was better than nothing. The dog started eating my meals right away, which kind of sucked, being that I was short on food. I ran around, grabbing the rest of the stuff I'd seen laying about. Did a bit of cleaning. There was still some rooms I hadn't checked yet. Some empty places on this map. Probably never get them all. But no reason not to try and check them. I went through door after door, building after building. There's a nice little shirt laying there. Decided to leave it for now. And I ran all around, trying to get into some of these rooms. Some of them had the doors barricaded up. Who knows what terrible thing happened there. There was a big old TV nearby. I'd noted that earlier. Wasn't really sure I wanted it. Bunch of fruit trees about, but none of them were really producing any food. Some woman came flying down out of the sky. She wasn't too friendly. I thought maybe she was still back from her home planet. So I debated on running over there, seeing if I could take care of her. Decided that's probably the best thing to do. She wasn't going to be happy about it. But in all honesty, neither was I. As I was running over there, she decided to get up and start walking. So I decided I'd just let her go. If that's what she wants, good for her. She can wander on off. I sat down, had another beer at that point. It was 9 o'clock. I was feeling kind of tired. After that, I was off to bed. Decided I was going to have to kill these dogs. I'd try and kill them one at a time. See if perhaps I wouldn't have to kill them all. So I grabbed a hold of one, did him in, which certainly wasn't ideal. Some cargo pods came down, a bunch of jade inside. Not really something I cared for at this point. I butchered up that dog. It was somewhat sad, but it made enough meat for about 5 meals. I made him. I ate one, and he wasn't half bad in all honesty. Next day, I decided I was going to start trying to claim a bigger home. This place is too small, doesn't feel very safe. I could make some kind of little fort in the middle here, at least have some kind of security while I figure out what to do. I was going to give this place a go for a little while. If it got crazy though, I would just forsake everything and take off. It's going to be a lot of work. I sat down to have a meal. There was another room I hadn't explored, but it didn't have anything but a bed. I found some silver, so I brought that on back. Decided to build a bedroll in case I did need to hightail it out of here. Probably be a good play. I was debating on killing another one of them dogs. I was gonna have to do it, I think. Poor guys, they showed up at the wrong time, I suppose. So, once again, I did one of them in. My fire had gone out by that point. Hopefully I could find something to burn. I butchered up that dog. Found some wood. Rebuilt my fire. And then I cooked up the meat from the dog. One of the other dogs came running over and ate a bunch of it. I grabbed a bunch of wood from a nearby wooden wall. Decided some more cooking was in order. I pulled a few meals out of it. Not as many as I would have liked, but better than nothing. Continued working on what was going to be my new place. There's certainly enough buildings around here I could rip down to get supplies for. I could rip this whole city down if I wanted. Not really sure what the point would be though. I was hauling supplies in, building doors. I was gonna have to do some cleaning. The place was a nightmare. A couple centuries of dust. But for the minute, I was off to bed. Feeling decent, despite the mess I'd been seeing everywhere. Decided to take apart some chairs. Didn't need this many chairs. Some fella contacted me at that point. Let me know there was a spaceship nearby. When he said nearby, he didn't mean the other side of the planet. At least I didn't think he meant it. It was going to be a long haul to get on over there. I did the math on it. Looked like quite a haul. Turns out it's about 47 days away. Seemed like quite a walk across all this wilderness. Certainly my clothes wouldn't even hold up for that kind of walk. But I continued, taking stuff apart, getting material for doors. There's all these bamboo stools. Decided I was going to bury that alien thing I'd killed. I didn't want to look at it. It was pretty gross. It had dried blood everywhere. Took apart a bunch of chairs, which wasn't the fastest process. But I got it done. There's some walls just to the south. I was going to have to take those apart. Give myself a nice walking path all around the building. And some wood was nearby. So I took apart the rest of that. Before getting back to the business of doing repairs. After that, I grabbed what I could. Gonna haul a bunch of stuff, put my steel where it belongs. Built some power conduit just to get some juice over to my new place. The location of my wind turbine wasn't ideal, but it was gonna have to be alright. So I planned out where my power conduits were gonna go. I found a little hoopstone ring nearby, so I grabbed that. And since the sun was down, decided to use my telescope for once. Get a nice view of the sky, all the crazy planets. None of it looked recognizable to me. After that, I was off to bed. I was running short on meals once again. That dog was looking pretty hungry. There's nothing for him to eat. When I woke up, I had a meal. Got to the business of making a little AC. What was going to be my bedroom. I'd planned a bunch of furniture set up. I'd get a bedroom, nice hanging out room. I was even going to make a nice clean place to cook. Somewhere to preserve and store food as well. Nothing like a good freezer. I worked on power conduit. My supplies weren't too close, so that was a bit of a hassle. But I'd get it done eventually. Needed a butcher table. Cook table. There was a big cat and a big bird got into a fight nearby. I decided I was going to butcher the one that didn't quite make it. Maybe that cat would die too, in which case he'd become dinner as well. So I shot him up. My gun even got involved when the thing started coming at me. That gun's got some kind of AI on it. It's pretty nice. The dog started eating that bird right away. Good for it. Would have been nice to be able to keep that dog, so maybe I can provide enough food for us both yet. So I butchered up the cat, and it made a ton of meat, which is pretty awesome. Also some nice fur I got off it. Maybe I can make some clothes out of that at some point. Made a bunch of meals, got them in. Some space chunks fell down as I was fixing my heater, which had broken down already. Not sure if that's evidence to my lack of skill building stuff, but I'll get there. I put my food away, built some more doors. Man, this place was a mess, I can tell you that. Slowly but surely, I got all the power conduit put in. It's gonna need another cooler. For the minute that bird was laying there, leave something for the dog. Well, it'd have been a heck of a couple days. I've been working my butt off. For now, the city was quiet, which I appreciate. There are still some unexplored places nearby. But I was feeling alright, despite the mess. My new bionic arm was working great. And for the minute, I had a little dog companion. Let's hope things pan out.